Hello everyone, welcome to IP Study Video Lectures. Today we will discuss Grade 7 Science chapter Light. In this chapter we will study about sources of light, rectilinear propagation of light, reflection of light, image formation in mirrors, lenses and the spectrum. What do we see when you wake up in the morning? You see the things around you. How you are able to see these things? Are you able to see the same scenery around you in the dark also, or at the night when there is no light? No. We can see the things around us only in the presence of light. The light can be the daylight, means the light from sun, or it can be from any other source like a bulb, a torch or a candle. So, first, depending on the type of light which we are seeing around us, what is the source of these lights, we can group these sources as natural sources and artificial sources. So, let's discuss the sources of light. What are natural sources? The sources of light which are present in the nature. For example, the sun. Sun is ultimate source of energy on the earth. It gives us heat and light energy. So most of the light on the earth is from the sun. During the night time, we can see moonlight, which is the reflection of sunlight. The moon doesn't have any light on its own. So it is just getting the light from sun and it is sending it towards us by the process of reflection. What are artificial sources of light? The sources of light which are human made. If we check the human made sources of light around us, these are a lamp, a bulb, a flashlight, torch, a candle, it can be a lantern, so and LED bulbs. So these are different kinds of artificial or human-made sources of light around us. The purpose of all these sources of light is to emit light, to produce light, so that we can eliminate the darkness around us. Different objects in the surroundings can be classified as luminous and non-luminous sources. Any object which produces its own light, it emits light, that is called luminous object. For example, the sun is luminous object. A candle is luminous object. An electric bulb, a flashlight which is producing their light are called luminous objects. What are non-luminous objects? Any object which has no light of its own. For example, the moon. Moon does not emit any light, but it is a source of light, though it is non-luminous object. How? Because it is reflecting the sunlight. So sometimes some objects around you may seem to be sending light towards you, but they are not emitting their own light. For example, a glassy surface, or for example, we can say a mirror. If a mirror is placed in the path of a light source, so it will reflect the light and it will seem that the light is coming from the mirror. So in that case, we can say that the mirror is non-luminous object. Even though it can reflect, it can send some light after reflection. Rectilinear propagation of light. What do you understand by the term rectilinear propagation? Propagation means moving forward and rectilinear means on a straight line. We can understand the rectilinear propagation of light through an activity here. In this activity, we need a candle which is a source of light. We need 3 cardboards which are same in size, and we need to punch a hole in all these 3 cardboards at the same point. Means when we keep these boards vertical, so while making the hole in these cardboards, the hole should be at same height from the floor. So why we are making the holes at the same height in all three cardboards? So that when we place these cardboards vertically, all the holes should be aligned at same height. How this will help us? When we will light the candle, after arranging the cardboards as shown in the image, the light rays from the candle should pass through the holes and it should be visible to the person standing on the next side of the board. If any of these hole is not punched at the same height, suppose a hole is punched at this height in cardboard B. So what will happen? The light rays from the candle will move from the hole in the cardboard A. It will reach cardboard B, but there is no hole to allow this light to pass through this cardboard. So what will happen? There will be no light rays after this cardboard and you will not be able to see this light ray from the cardboard C. We understand here that whenever a light source is emitting light, each light ray is moving in a straight path until there is an obstacle in its path which can direct it into different directions. Now understand the reflection of light. This is one of the property of light, that light changes its path when there is any obstacle. First feature of the light was that it always travels in a straight line, which is rectilinear propagation. Second feature is it can be reflected from different surfaces. So what is reflection? Let's understand this. Suppose this is the light ray and there is a obstacle in the path of the light ray. So what will happen if a light ray is blocked by any obstacle? It cannot move further. Okay? If there is a object placed in the surrounding, suppose this is a box, and a light ray from a flashlight is directed towards the box. In this case, it will follow the straight path towards the box, and after striking the surface of the box, it will move in different direction. Suppose it will be move in different direction like this. So the arrow is showing the direction of light. Now, the behavior of light which allows it to move into different direction after striking a surface is called reflection. There are some rules which are followed by the light ray during this phenomena, during the reflection process. So what are these characteristics of light when it is following the reflection process, or what are the rules which we need to follow here? For example, we have a plane mirror here which is smooth in the surface, and we have a light ray striking this mirror. So we assume that there is a perpendicular named normal on the mirror. So we try to make a perpendicular here. Perpendicular means standing ray which is making the 90-degree angle with the surface. And what is the surface here? The surface is mirror. This is mirror. Alright. So this is only imaginary perpendicular. It's not in the real here. And what happens when light ray is striking a surface? It is moving in other direction. We can name it incident ray. So the light ray which is striking a surface is called incident ray. If we make an angle between this ray and the normal, this is the normal, imaginary perpendicular, we can name it angle of incidence. Suppose it is, we can say, in this case, if I assume this is 45 degrees. Okay. So what will happen when the light ray will be reflected from the mirror? The light ray will be called reflected ray, and it will make an angle with the normal, which is angle of reflection. What is interesting fact about these two angles? These two angles are equal in measure. Means if in this case the light ray is making 45-degree angle with the normal, it will make 45-degree angle with the reflected ray also. Okay, after the reflection also. So every time whenever a light ray is reflected from a surface, it is making an incident angle with the normal, and after the reflection it is making a reflected angle or angle of reflection, and these angles are always equal in measure. Okay, this is the first rule, that angle of reflection will be always equal to angle of incident. Second law of reflection is that incident ray, normal and reflected ray, all these three lies in the same plane. Same plane means if I extend this mirror, these all are in the same side of the mirror. None of this is going on the other side of the mirror. So the second rule of the reflection is that incident ray, normal and reflected ray always lie in the same plane. So here we have learned, we have understood two laws of reflection. First is angle of incidence is always equals to the angles of reflection, and second is incident ray, normal and reflected ray are always in a same plane. This states the law of reflection. Next thing is, what is the importance of this phenomena in the surrounding? Reflection is helping us to see different things in the surrounding when the light rays are reflected from the surfaces and they enters into our eyes. When a reflected ray enters into our eye, it forms the image of an object, and that's why we are able to identify the object in the surroundings. As we know that every surface is not smooth. If you just touch different objects in your surroundings, you will find that the surface of your bag and the surface of your book are different. Which of these seems to be more smooth? The surface of the book is smoother and the surface of the bag is slightly rough. Similarly, if you just check the surface of the wall, if you observe, it might be smoother if it is painted well, otherwise it will be rough. If you check the surface of the tabletop, it might be smooth, or if you check the surface of any silk cloth, it is quite smoother. So different types of surfaces have different textures here. Some are rough, some are smooth. I draw a surface which is polished, smooth surface, and multiple light rays from a beam or the light source is traveling alongside, and after the strike, what will happen? These will be reflected in other direction, and you will notice that after the reflection, all these light rays remains parallel. These are all parallel to each other. These were parallel before the reflection. This happens only when light rays are striking a smooth surface, a polished surface. If a light beam is a bundle of light rays, it is striking a rough surface. So there are bumps on the surface, it is not smooth or polished like the first one. And now a light ray is parallel. These are different light rays which are parallel before striking the surface. And what will happen after striking the rough surface? These will move in different directions. Now if you observe, these light rays are not parallel to each other. Why? If we magnify this, if we use a magnifying lens, and if we notice the bumps on the surface and we change these bumps into small sections, if we divide these into small sections, so you will notice that some have projections, there are some depressions. So every time when a light ray is striking it, it is not striking at the same point, which are parallel in the smooth surface. So they make different angles along with their normals. If we draw the normals here, so you will find the normals are not also parallel with each other. Okay, that's why if a first ray, this is R1 and this is R2, if the first ray is making suppose 15-degree angle, it will follow 15-degree angle after the reflection, and the second ray is suppose making 45-degree angle, so it will follow the 45-degree angle after the reflection. And that is why these are not parallel after the reflection process. These doesn't seem to move parallel with each other because every ray is striking a different surface at different point at the rough surface and making different angles. But in the regular reflection or the reflection from the polished surface, it was making same angle. If we draw the perpendicular, the normals, these are parallel to each other and every ray is making same angle with the normal. So when a light beam is striking a polished surface, it is called regular reflection. And if a light ray is striking a rough surface and the reflection is called irregular reflection. We can check it here. The light rays are striking smooth surface and these are parallel after the reflection, and this type of reflection is called here regular reflection. And when a light beam is striking a rough surface, each ray is directed into different path which is not parallel to each other, and in this case we call it irregular reflection. Next thing is, what is an image? When you stand in front of mirror, what do you see in the mirror? You see yourself in the mirror? You are seeing your image in the mirror whenever you are standing in front of the mirror. How these images are formed? These images are the result of reflection of light from the mirror. We can see the image of any object after the reflection of light from a smooth surface only. For example, the still water. The surface of the still water is smooth, that's why we can see the image of surroundings in the on the top of different water bodies. For example, the pond or the river. We can see the reflection from the smooth utensils. For example, if you take a steel utensil, steel plate, and which is very clean and shiny, you can see your impression in that, you can see your image there. You can see the reflection in mirrors, different types of mirrors. If you take any smooth metal sheet, for example, the aluminum sheet, or which is very smooth and shiny, you might see slight reflection of yourself in the sheet as well. So what is the condition here to see your reflection? That the surface should be smooth or polished so that you can see your image due to the reflection of light through that surface. When we talk about the images, different types of images are formed from different surfaces. For example, real image and virtual image. Whenever you stand in front of mirror, you see that there is a reflection of the whole room inside the mirror. It seems that there is another room on the other side of the mirror. So we can say the image is formed on the other side of the mirror. If any image is formed on the other side of the mirror, this is called virtual image. So mirrors are helping us to see our images, which is a virtual image, means which is in an imaginary world on the other side of the mirror. If any image is formed before the mirror, that is called the real image. We will understand these formation of the image further in this chapter. So, mirrors and images formed by them. What are the mirrors? Mirrors are polished surface, and how images are formed there, and what are the characteristics of images which are formed in a mirror. So first of all, you need to understand that there are different types of mirrors. What are these different types of mirrors? We can say there is a plane mirror, which is smooth and polished, straight plane mirror. There are curved mirror, curved inside or curved outside. So whenever we draw a mirror, we draw it like this, means only this side is reflective, and we can see the image on this side. So if I make a curved mirror, what I'm trying to present here, that light can be reflected from this side only, and we can see the image on this curved side, which is curved inside. In this kind of mirror, the curve is outward, and we can see the image on the outer curve of the mirror. How do we form these curved mirror? Suppose there is a ball, and which is hollow from inside, and it is made up of glass. So if you cut a section from this glass, you can have a piece of curved glass. Now take this curved side of the glass and paint it from the one side. Paint one side of the glass. So what you will have here? You will have one side of the mirror which can reflect the light, and in this case, this curved side will make a curved mirror, and as it is curved outside, the reflection can be formed on the outer curve. We call it convex mirror. On the other side, if I cut a piece from this part of the ball, which is a hollow glass, now what I will have? I will have a piece of glass which is curved inside. So by painting its one side, what I am getting here? I am getting a curved mirror which has reflective side on the inner curve. So in this case, this mirror which has a curved side or which has a cavity to reflect the light, it is called concave mirror. These curved mirrors makes different types of images. The image formed by these curved mirror is not same as the image formed by a plane mirror. So first of all, try to understand the characteristics of a image formed by a plane mirror. So here we have a plane mirror, and if you place a checkered sheet like the chess board, so what you will have here? You will have boxes. Some are black. Alternatively, we have white boxes here. Black. Alternatively, we will color it, and one is left as black, white one. So what we have here now? We have checkered sheet placed in front of the mirror. So you will see the similar impression, similar image of this checkered sheet on the other side of the mirror. If you place a ball here on the checkered sheet, you will not notice that the image of the ball will be formed on the other side in the mirror, and you will notice that in the mirror, the ball has one black box in front of it, like in the real world. If you place a second ball after two boxes, so you will notice that the image which is formed inside the mirror of this ball, you will see that there are two boxes in front of the ball in the mirror. Means every time when you notice the distance between the mirror and the object in the mirror, the distance between the image and the mirror is also same. You can repeat it by making a checkered sheet on the floor in front of a mirror, and you stand on that checkered sheet. So every time if you move one box towards the mirror, you will notice that your image is also moving towards the mirror by one box. Means it is following the same distance. So every time any image which is formed in front of mirror is formed at the same distance behind the mirror as the object is kept at the distance in front of the mirror. Second thing, when you see yourself in the mirror, does your skin color changes? Does the color of your clothes changes? No, it means the color of the object that we are seeing in the mirror is also same. Means the image has the same color as the object has. Third thing is the shape and size. If you are standing in front of mirror, do you feel yourself thin or fatty? Or you appear tall or short? Does it happen? No. Means every time when an object is placed, whether it is living or non-living, in front of the mirror, the shape and size of the object is also not changing. Means the image is only showing you the exact shape and size of the object. So here what we learned, that the image is always having the same size and shape, the same color as the object has. Also, it is formed at the same distance from the mirror behind the mirror, following the same distance where the object is kept in front of the mirror. What happens when an object is placed in front of curved mirrors? In that case, images are not formed same as the images formed in the plane mirror. One more interesting feature of the image in a plane mirror is lateral inversion. What is lateral inversion? You stand in front of a mirror and paint one of your palm with black color and other palm with white color. Now, stand in front of the mirror showing your palms toward the mirror. When you raise your right hand, which is painted black, you will notice that the image is also raising the palm which is painted black. And if you raise the other palm which is painted white, the image will also raise the same palm which is painted white. So what is happening here? If you notice, when you are raising the black painted palm, you are raising your hand which is right hand. But in the image, it seems that the image is raising its left hand. It appears to be the left hand of the image. And when you are raising your left hand which is painted white, it appears that the image in the mirror is raising its right hand. But this is only an imagination. It is an assumption which is forming a phenomena here called lateral inversion. So what is lateral inversion? When an object appears to changing its sides in the mirror without changing the position of head and toes. Means only the sides are replaced. The object is not inverted. It is not upside down. Only the sides are interchanged. So this type of image is called laterally inverted image. This phenomena is useful to write some important messages. For example, an emergency vehicle, ambulance, needs a clear passage so that it can reach the site of emergency and it can take the injured people or patient to the hospital. So what it needs? We need here that the ambulance should be written laterally inverted on a vehicle, and it should be written in larger alphabets, so that when any object in front of the ambulance is there, it can see the image of the ambulance in the mirror, and it can read it correctly, and it can give the passage to the ambulance. So that's how lateral inversion is helpful here to write label ambulance, which is an emergency vehicle, so that any other driver which is driving in front of the ambulance can clear the passage for the ambulance. The image formed in a mirror are used for making the mirrors in salons, making your dressing mirrors, and it is used for making images in periscope. What is periscope? In a periscope, we have a S-shaped tube, and in this tube we have plane mirrors, mirror number 1 and 2 here, which are reflecting the light multiple times. Means when any object is placed here and light is reflected from this object, it will strike the mirror 1. Due to the reflection, it will change its direction and it will reach the mirror 2. Now it will be reflected again by the mirror 2 and it will change the direction due to reflection again, and now it will enter into your eyes and you will be able to see the image of this object placed on the other side or different height or different depth from your eye level, and you will be able to see the image of that object. The periscope is useful to see the surroundings through submarines. So submarines use periscope when these are under the water to see the object, to see the surroundings above the water. So that's how the image formed by plane mirror are helpful here to see different objects at different heights. These are used as reflector in solar cookers. Means the property of light and the behavior of light after striking a surface is helpful here to make reflectors in solar cookers, so that we can gather the solar energy and cook the food. Very important thing that you need to keep in mind here while making a periscope is that these mirrors which are placed here, mirror number 1 and mirror number 2, these should be making 45-degree angle with the tube where these are placed, and they should be parallel to each other. Both the mirrors should be parallel to each other and these should be making 45-degree angle with the tube where these are arranged. If you change the angle by a single degree, or suppose you change the angle from 45 to 90 degrees, so what will happen? You will have mirror placed here like this, 90 degree. So what will happen? If light ray is coming here and it is striking, it will make the same angle. Angle of incidence is 90, so the angle of reflection will also be 90. It will move back in the same path. It will follow the same path to return, and we will not be able to see any image through this point. So every time when you are making a periscope, both the mirrors should be kept parallel with each other, and this angle should be 45 degree with the tube where it is arranged. Now let's study spherical mirrors. What was the first case? When the object is at huge distance, means it is at infinity. So the image was formed at focal point and it is very small, it is inverted and the image is real image. When second case is when the object is placed at some distance from the mirror, means it is coming closer to the mirror. And what was the second case there? When it was placed beyond the center of curvature. In this case, the size of the image is now slightly enlarged and the image is again real and inverted, but the image is still smaller than the object. In the third case, when the object is at the small distance from the mirror, means we can say it is at the center of curvature and the image is still real, highly magnified and inverted. So most of the images, if you notice here, inverted images and the real images. When the object is placed very close to the mirror, in that case, image is virtual, it will be formed behind the mirror, it is erect and larger than the object. So very close to mirror means it is placed between the focus and the mirror in this case. So when any object is placed very close to the mirror, on what type of the mirror? The concave mirror. The object will be forming a very large image of itself, and the image will be erect and it will be on the other side of the mirror, means it will be the virtual image. So based on the types of images which are formed on a concave mirror, we can use it in our daily life purposes. What are these different uses? Like concave mirrors are used as reflectors in headlights of the cars, searchlights and torchlight, so that it can reflect the light, it can scatter the light in the surrounding and we can see the distant object easily. Concave mirrors are used by dentists so that when it is placed very close to the tooth, so the dentist can see the magnified image of the tooth. Shaving mirrors are concave mirrors that produces enlarged images. Mirrors which are used for shaving, for makeup, these are forming enlarged image so that you can focus on the required parts of the face and you can correct your makeup. Formation of images by a convex mirror. What is the convex mirror? The mirror which is having the reflective surface on the outer side, outer curve. In the case of convex mirror, the image form is always virtual. This is the condition, and it is erect and the smaller than the object, whether you place it at any point from the mirror. Means you place it on the center of curvature, at infinity, very close, or focal point. Every time the image will be same and it will be virtual, erect and smaller than the object. So a lens is formed of a transparent material that allows light to pass through. We were making the mirror from the piece of glasses, but we were covering one of the sides, we were coating one of the side to make the other side reflective, so that the light cannot pass through that, only it can be reflected from that. But in the lens, we are not making this kind of coating so that the piece of glass can allow the light to pass through this. In convex lens, a lens containing one or two spherical surfaces. So if I draw a line here, you will see the joining point here. So here we can say two pieces, piece 1 and 2. These two curved pieces from a sphere, glass sphere, are joined together to make convex lens. What happens when light passes through a convex lens? You can see here the light rays are pointed at F, focus. These are focused at one point after passing through the lens. As all the light rays are fixed at one point, we can say this is a converging lens. Converging means all the light rays are gathered at one point. So convex lens is a converging lens. So also we can say the focus point of this lens is behind the lens, on the other side of the lens. In case of concave lens, two inward curved pieces of glasses are combined. These are joined together to make this kind of lens. When light rays are passing through this, what happened to this? the light rays are scattered in the other direction, on the other side of the lens. And if we collect these scattered light rays before the lens, we will find the focus point of the lens. If you compare the focus point of convex and concave lenses, you will see that light rays are focused. These are gathered after passing through the lens in convex lens. So the focal point is behind the convex lens, on the other side. But in concave lens, we get the focal point before the lens after gathering these scattered lines. And light rays are scattered. These are diverged in different direction after passing through the lens. Which type of lens? Concave lens. So we say concave lens is a diverging lens. What is spectrum? Have you heard about the spectrum? A rainbow. Have you seen a rainbow? So what is a rainbow? We say it's a band of 7 colors which is visible in the sky after rain often. So a rainbow is an example of spectrum. The colors come from the sunlight. Mainly the spectrums are formed in the atmosphere when the sunlight is scattered into its colors. And how many colors are there? There are 7 colors. These colors are arranged in a pattern which we call VIBGYOR. So what is VIBGYOR? This is the order of these colors: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So initial of each color is arranged here to make this mnemonic, which is called the VIBGYOR. So whenever we say we are seeing a spectrum or we are seeing a VIBGYOR, which means we are seeing white light scattered into 7 colors. So here we can conclude that the light is formed of 7 different colors of light. White light of the sun is composed of 7 different colors of light. So we can see the spectrum through different types of objects. For example, different crystals like a diamond. If you place a crystal in front of the light and you make incident the light on an angle to the crystal, you can see the spectrum reflected from the crystal. And also you can see it on the compact disc. If you notice the compact disc or the holograms, there are different colors which are visible when you move the disc or the hologram. These are because of the white light splitting into its 7 color. So Sir Isaac Newton, who was a great scientist in the 17th century, discovered that white light is composed of 7 colors, and he noted the arrangement of these colors, or we can say the order of these colors, and derived a mnemonic so that we can learn it very easily as VIBGYOR. So in this chapter, what we have learned by now, we have learned that light travels in a straight line, which is rectilinear propagation of the light. If images are formed on the plane mirror, so there are few characteristics of this image, means the image will look similar as it is as the object, means the size, shape, color of the image will be same as the object. It will be formed at the same distance from the mirror, means the distance between the object and the mirror also appears similar, also appears same on the other side in the virtual world of the mirror, means the distance of the image and the mirror is same as the distance of object and the mirror. One more thing is there, that the image formed in plane mirror is always erect, means it is standing straight, and it is laterally inverted. What is lateral inversion? Means the right side of yours appears left in the image and the left side of yours appears right in the image. Means the sides are switched. This is called lateral inversion. We can also make spherical mirrors by cutting the sections from the glass spheres and coating one of its side to make the other side reflective. If the inner side is reflective, we call it concave mirror. If the outer curve is reflective, we call it convex mirror. Images which are formed from the convex mirror are always erect, virtual, and also we can use spherical sections or cuts of the glass pieces and join them to make different types of lenses, such as the concave lens and the convex lens, which can be used for different purposes depending on their property of converging the light and diverging the light rays. So that's how understanding these types of objects which are mirrors and lenses, we can understand their uses in different purposes in the daily life. So that's it for the day. We will continue with the next lecture in the next session. Thank you.